There I am. I found myself. I'm all alone tonight. Porter, Texas. Hi, Kim. Thanks for joining. Thank you. I bet it was hot down there today. So I am trying to get all my technical stuff done. So pop in and say hello. Let me know where you're from. And if you wouldn't mind liking and sharing my page. And I'm Christelle, Christelle's Country Creations. Hey Asia. Hi Addie. Hi Vita from Pennsylvania. You guys getting storms out there? Did I see something on the news where you guys are going to be getting storms out there? Hey Mama. Pamela is my mom, everybody. Okay, I'm on my own tonight. I don't have a mediator, so we'll see how things go. If you post a question or something and I don't answer, I will go back through and read through them and answer your question at that time. So, what we are going to do tonight is, did everybody see the picture? My scarecrow. I'm so excited. I tell you what, so Trisha from, let's see, Sweet Tea's Craft House, and craft is spelled with a K. She did one on one of her lives last week, and I thought it was so amazing, and it turned out so beautiful, and I just got excited about trying to do one of my own, so I'll see if I can do one of my own as much justice as hers did. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi Sally, hi Barbara. New York State. So is it any cooler up there, or is it real hot up there too? I'm really interested in the weather because I am sweating. And I do have my fan on, but if you can't hear me, tell me and I'll turn my fan off, okay? Hi Kim. Welcome. Welcome. Sally, Chesapeake, Virginia. Thank you for stopping in. Okay, so I'm going to show you my scarecrow lady. Ready? I'm so excited. I think she's so pretty. Okay, so, well, wait a minute. Let me show you first. So, let me show you. This is how she started off. Just a simple styrofoam head. And I coated her in, I coated in a clear Elmer's glue. And it gave like a crackling effect. But anyway, so that's how she started off. And ta-da! This is her now. What do you think, guys? Do you like her? If you like her, give me some hearts or thumbs up so I know you think she's totally adorbs. So we're going to be putting her in a wreath tonight. So let me set her aside. And then I'll pan down and we'll get started on making the wreath for her. Okay, let me get this right. Make it bigger. Just come this way a little more. Okay, that should be good, right? Oh, hi, Shaylin. Thank you. You like her, Susan? Oh, thanks. Sally, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Barbara. Oh, it was 91 today? Blech. Yucky weather. I know, it's just so hot. Okay, so what we're going to do is I have a 15-inch work wreath right here. And all I've done to this work wreath form is I've squished it to make an oval. And then I put some pipe cleaners, pipe bars in here to hold it, to keep its form, and we will fill in the middle. So this gives me something to put the mesh on in the middle. Thank you, Suzanne, for sharing. I appreciate that. Yeah, if y'all wouldn't mind sharing, that would be so awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, so I got this work wreath form from Craft Outlet. I'll try to tell you as I go along where I get things from. So the mesh that I'm using tonight is a fabric mesh, and it is also from Craft Outlet. Hi, Valerie. I'm doing good, other than being hot. I'm doing real good. So all we're going to do with this is you're going to take the ends, and see this fabric mesh is really nice. It flows really well. Fabric mesh is my favorite. Those of you who watch me know I use it all the time. I'm just going to gather in the ends so they're all together, and then I just drop my roll on the floor. That's just the way I've always done it, so that's what I always do. So I'm going to go down here and start on the bottom row. I'm going to lay this into a tie, and you push the mesh up against the bar, the frame, and then you squeeze and twist. And all you need to do is like twist once or so, because we're going to be twisting other stuff into it. And then I put a zip tie in on the end. Laura's live right now too. Oh, I didn't know she was live right now. Dang it. Well, that wasn't planned very well on my part, was it? For those of you who don't know, Laura Jean's Wreath Room is my design coach. And she's live right now on her channel, so it's kind of a bummer that we're both live. But that's okay. So we're going to do 10 to 12 inch poofs. Hey Tammy, my cousin, how are you? We're going to do 10 to 12 inch poofs, and you can measure these poofs with something. I always just pick a spot on my arm and I measure to that point so that I'm not constantly measuring like with a ruler or something. Oh, thanks, Mom. You like the color? Yeah, it's like a burgundy color. So we're just going to go all the way around the work wreath form with the same size poofs all the way around. I said it right, didn't I? I've been practicing. Because I always say puffs and it's poofs. So I don't know if it's just my accent or what, but I always mess that up. So I've been practicing, Valerie, trying to say it right. All right, we're just going to go all the way around. I'm sweating. Oh my gosh. I have this. Okay. We're all girls here. We can talk about bras. Who has those constant bras that always fall off your shoulders? I've about had it with them. I hate that. It's awful. It's like the most awful thing. You're constantly pulling up your shoulders all day long. And this wreath is a pencil wreath. If you notice, it doesn't have the big fluffy ties on it like I normally use. It's just a little bit different. Like I said, I got that at Craft Outlet, and I got this mesh, this burgundy fabric mesh at Craft Outlet also. So was anybody on Friday when I did the ladybug? Don't know if any of y'all were on Friday, but I've decided that that's not done. I don't exactly like how it turned out. So I'm going to be adding, I think, some white daisies to it. which sometimes I just have to look at something for a few days to decide if I like it or not. So, you were, Barbara? Did you like it? Susan? Yeah, I'm just going to add some white daisies. I think it just needed some flowers or something in it to break up the red and black just a little bit. So I'm hoping to do that tomorrow, and then post pictures of that tomorrow. Hey, Asia. Hey, Tracy. Oh, I'm glad you were. Yeah, I'll try to post pictures of that tomorrow. Alexis, my daughter from Guam is on. Hi, sweetheart. I was just talking to her, which is why I'm not quite fully prepared tonight as I would have liked to have been. I was watching the grandbabies. Watching the grandbabies. They grow so fast, especially when they go and move away. So I'm just zip tying. So I jumped from the lower bar to the top bar. And I didn't do a poof or anything, I just pulled it kind of taut, and I'm zip tying it to the top frame. And then I'm just going to take off that end bit. And I'm not going to make a, or I am going to come through this first set of ties, and I just always twist it right there, and then I start with the next one. You can do it however you like. There is no, the nice thing about doing this is there's no right way or no wrong way, and you don't really make mistakes with it or anything, because whatever you do, it's all an artistic adventure, right? So my other two daughters that live in town here that would have probably moderated for me or whatever, they're traveling right now. One's going to California and one's going to Texas. So that's why I'm all by myself tonight. My husband's just not home from work yet. So, and with the scarecrow lady that I made, after I covered her in the clear Elmer's glue, then I just used an acrylic paint and kind of came up with a skin tone color that I like. Because I don't know about y'all, but none of the skin tones that they have, like, really aren't that good, I don't think. So I just kind of made up one and covered her in that, and just used acrylic paints. And then after I was done painting her, I covered her in matte Mod Podge. Which Mod Podging things is always fun. And it's fun painting on glue too. So what do you guys think of this color? Do you like it? It really goes with her lips and one of the pumpkins I put on her head. Alright, we're coming around the corner here. And if you're just joining me, I'm just doing puffs that are 10 to 12 inch poofs that are 10 to 12 inch poofs, and then we're just fluffing them out as we go along. And just remember, when you're putting the mesh in the ties, make sure that you're pushing firmly against the frame, firmly against that frame, and that you're pulling these ties taut, really tight. And you just need to like twist them once, because we got all kinds of stuff we're going to be putting in today. So I liked doing this, the face or the styrofoam head so much that I went back and got several more, and I got actually a man's mannequin face made of styrofoam. And so I'm going to try and do a, oh, what's that guy called? Oh, I just lost his name. You know, he's green, and like somebody made him out of parts. Oh my gosh. What, does anybody know who I'm talking about? He's green. He was brought to life with electricity. Anyway, I'm going to try to make one of him. Okay, so we've gone all the way around the bottom and the top. And so I just like to bring all my tie-ins out of the middle to get them out of the way. My comments are not scrolling. What is the deal? The Grinch? No. Frankenstein! Yes, 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 yes. Nice try, Asia. I think the wrong holiday, though. Frankenstein. I want to try making Frankenstein. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. Frankenstein. Okay, so instead of cutting off here, I am going to come back to these crossbars that I put in the middle. I'm just going to do another 10 to 12 inch poof so that they're all the same height. And I'm just going to take, I have these pipe cleaners that I cut. I'm going to take that and give it several twists because we're not putting anything after this, so this needs to stay. So you just put several twists on that and push it down. And I do 2 on this side of the bar and 2 on this side of the bar. So you do 4 poofs going across the middle. And it really helps fill in the middle of your wreath so that you can not have things like fall back into it or, you know, or feel sunken in. The Hulk, that would have been a good one too. Actually, that might be a really cool one to do, Mom. The Hulk. Alright, couple of more. I don't know why I couldn't think of Frankenstein. Yeah, my mind just goes blank sometimes. Alright, and we're just going under the pipe cleaner bar and bringing it around the top and giving it several twists in there. And then we're pushing that down. And we'll fluff all those out in a minute. I'm going to stand up here, guys. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So this last one here, I'm actually going to use a zip tie. And I'm going to zip tie it to the frame. See this metal frame here? I'm going to go around the pipe cleaner and around the mesh, and then you're going to pull that really tight because we're going to cut it, and then we're going to move over here to this other side. Give yourself a couple of inches and then just cut it off, and it'll blend into its environment. Then come over here to where the other crossbar was. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to zip tie this end to the frame, leaving a couple of inches out so that, you know, it doesn't fall through so easily. But you're really going to pull that tight. And then we're just going to do our 4 poofs going this way. The construction of a wreath really is easy. I mean, once you get down your first couple, you know, it is really easy. The hard part is the creative part, or the blending of your colors, or the mixing of the ribbons and things like that, you know. But I have people ask me all the time, you know, what do you think, what kind of ribbon should I use for this or that or whatever? And I'll give you what I think. I'll tell you what I think would be a good idea to use, you know, stripes or polka dots or something crazier. It's hard finding ribbons and stuff right now because a lot of the places are like running out of supplies. Us wreath makers, you know, we're all racing to the craft outlet and places like that when they're open, because they haven't even been open all the time. Since they're starting to open things back up, is anybody going to be doing some traveling? I would really like to go to Laura Jean's retreat that she's having. She's having a retreat in New York for her people that are in her group. I like to do that, but so then you get to the end there and you just cut off the end and it'll blend into everything. And then this is all I have left on this roll, just a little bit. So it's kind of nice. You don't end up with all the extra that you have normally. Going back to northern New York. Nice. I think that's where Laura's having her thing. It's called Polinsky, New York or something like that. Are you working, Sally, and can't go anywhere? Then we're just fluffing all these out. I'd really like to go to Guam to see my grandbabies. It's so far. It's so expensive. The plane tickets are still expensive. It's like $2,000 for a plane ticket to Guam, which is ridiculous. Okay. Alright, so we filled in the middle pretty good. What do you think? On camera it kind of looks quite a bit darker than it does to me. Oh, 2 hours south. She did a live video today on her camp and stuff, and it was really pretty, really beautiful area it looks like. Okay, so we've got this bit done, and now we're going to do some Woodland Ruffles. Yeah, it is hard to go anywhere when you don't know if it's safe. I agree with that, for sure. I'm going to set this aside for just a second, and I'm going to show you. Ooh, look at that shed. Show you how to do a woodland ruffle. Hi, Lisa. Welcome. So I'm going to show you how to do a woodland ruffle. So I've got this. It's a 10-inch mesh. It's got metallic orange and kind of like a burgundy color running through the organic burlap stuff. What am I trying to think of? So I cut them at about 20 inches long. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take one end, and I roll fairly tightly, and I'm going to roll it like 4 times. And then I'm going to go over here to the other side, and I'm going to roll it like 4 times. And then there's a gap in between here. So you're just going to gather that up like you would if you were doing a ruffle. Then you end up with this cute little woodland ruffle. So what we're going to do, let me bring this back up here. So what we're going to do is every other tie we're going to put one of these. So I'm just going to push it in, and you're making sure to push things up against that frame and then give a twist. Okay? So now it sticks in like that. So I've made some ahead of time, and this is the other one. This is a burlap poly mix. I bought this one and this one, these 10-inch mesh, at Hobby Lobby. And I actually think I got them last year when they went on clearance. because I'm trying to keep costs down on this wreath, because this is going to be a pretty big wreath. So, okay, let me bring a couple of these over here. So we're just going to alternate every other tie and put these in. Thanks, Asia. Thank you. How far did you get today? Are you in Texas? Did you make it all the way through Oklahoma? So every other tie, we're just going to go alternate all the way around. I cut them at 20 inches. You don't have to cut them at 20 inches. You can get away with cutting these at, say, like 13 inches or so. But I like them to look a little more spirally with fabric in the middle. And I found that I just can't, I can get the look that I want if I cut them at 20 inches long. So that's what I've done. But you know, if you're working on a roll, oops, just once. And you just need to twist it once, because we're going to put ribbon in there. If you're working and you only have a roll and it doesn't have, you know, that much on it, you can make these smaller or longer. It's really based on your taste and what you have available. That's what I like about wreath making, y'all. You can make whatever work for you. You're in Texas. 6 hours to your final destination. Oh, nice, nice. Okay, good. All right, and we're just rotating these. What do you think? You guys like that combination? I really, really love this black and burlap one. I love that. It lays so nice too. Because I'm all about textures, you know. All about the textures. Let's see. Alternate. The one thing is kind of a bummer, and it happens. I've tried it every which way, but eventually you're going to get some that are the same. You know, we've alternated like we're supposed to, and then you'll have a section where there's like one on top of the other and they're the same, but it just happens that way. Thanks, Susan. Thank you very much. Okay. All right. Uh-oh. Well, I might have to cut a couple more. I was in a hurry, and I might not have cut enough. It's okay, it doesn't take very long. Hey, Brenda. How are you, my friend? Okay. We're just moving right along. I miss you too. We're gonna have to get together. Butters is open. My husband and I went there the other day. All right. So I am gonna have to do a few more of the black ones, because apparently I cannot count. Bum, bum. 2. Wow, I'm too short. All right, it's okay. You guys will get to see how it's done. All right, let's cut 2 more real quick. Oh, thank you. You're so sweet. All right. Oh, this is going to have to move. All right, so I just laid on my mat, and I cut it at 20 inches with my rotary blade here. And that's all there is to that. So I'll show you a few more times here how to roll those up. So you just take the end and roll it. And I roll mine pretty tightly, about 4 times. Then you just grab the other side and roll it. And then you gather the space in the middle. And then I'll grab this back up. And then you just put it in your tie and give a twist. Now just make sure you are pushing that up against the frame of the wreath. You want to make sure that that's pushed nice and tightly up against that frame so you don't have to worry about it coming out in a big windstorm or something. But I hope whoever gets this wreath does not put it outside. I sealed her and stuff, but I just don't want to see her outside. Covered porch. Covered porch. Think covered porch. Most of my customers do put their wreaths inside though. Okay, so there we go, all around the outside. I'm not going to put any in the middle here because she's going to take up so much room. It doesn't matter what's behind here. So, and then I made some rolls. So this has, can you see? It's kind of like a snowdrift mesh, 10-inch mesh. I also got that at Hobby Lobby. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these in between my puffs and adhere them to the middle bar. So in here, if you can see, there's a middle bar. I'm going to attach this because I wrapped it with a pipe cleaner. And I'm going to attach it to the middle bar and give a good few twists. Okay. And then we just have like a splash of really a light color. Kind of, I was thinking about the that sunflower that I put on her head. You know, it's a white sunflower. So I just wanted something that was just a little pop of white, kind of here, there, and everywhere. And we'll see how many I add. So mostly I add 10. Hi, Anne. Welcome. Oh, hey, my sister Alicia joined. That's my sister, y'all. All right. Sometimes I put them really tightly together, and then sometimes I'll space them out just a little bit more. It's just whatever the design kind of calls for. And that's the nice thing too with, you know, designing your own wreaths and stuff. You just do what you like because you like the way it looks. Pennsylvania. Nice. I think you're the second person from Pennsylvania today. Where are you at in Pennsylvania? Thanks, Mom. Thank you. Okay. This is a very fluffy wreath, y'all. Wreath. Fluffy, fluffy. Oh, do you have any questions on the rolls? I guess I didn't go through how I make them. Does everybody know how to make the rolls? Reading, Pennsylvania. Nice. Now, is that northern, southern? Okay. We'll just keep going around here. Florida, hello, welcome from Florida, or welcome to Colorado. You haven't tried making rolls yet, Susan? Well, if you have any questions on how to make them, just ask. I cut these at 10 inches long, and then I just roll them up like a burrito, put two together, make an X out of them, and then wrap them with a pipe cleaner. And then we're just adhering them onto that middle bar. Oh, below Philadelphia. I bet that's a beautiful area. We're out in Florida, Marianne. I've got a brother who lives in, what's it called? Sarasota? Sarasota? Does that sound right? Sarasota. Yeah, I think he lives in Sarasota. He's a newly discovered brother that I never knew I had. Have any of you guys ever done, what's it called? Ancestry DNA? That's where we discovered we were each other's siblings. Never knew we existed. Each of us got the same dad. Okay. It's kind of a cool story. Someday I'll tell you all about it. All right. So we've got that on there. What do you think? Just a little pop of color on the sides. Just a little pop of color. Just a little pop of white. What do you think? You liking it so far? Yay or nay? About an hour from you. Nice. Nice. Good. You like it. Yay. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to move this down here and we're going to do the ribbon. But I'm going to show you first. So, thank you, Kelly. Thanks. Welcome. So, these are the ribbons that I chose to do in the ties. So, these two will be together and then these two will be together. Now, normally I always use wired ribbon. This is pretty much the only ribbon that I have really ever, well, no, I've used a few other ones that don't have wire. But I love, love, love this ribbon. And once it's folded and stuff, it has a nice little character about it. But so they're all wired except this one here. This one I purchased last year on clearance at Joann's. This one and this one were bought on Craft Outlet online. And this one was also Joann's clearanced out last year. So I've dovetailed my ends, but I've left one in case you don't know how to dovetail. So what you want to do is you want to put your ends together so that they're lined up and they're straight, and then take the scissors and cut away from you. However deep you cut will be the longer your tails or shorter your tails. So I usually do them about like this, and it turns out like that. So we'll just do it one more time. Fold. It's very important to make sure your ends line up, and then just cut away from you. And then that's how you get your dovetail. Makes you want to have a nice cup of hot cider. Nice. I know, fall, right? I don't even know if you'll get a fall being in Guam this year. Okay, so we are going to start putting these ties in. Or glue vine. Glue. Yeah, sounds nice, Alexis. Okay, so the black ones, black and white ones, I'm going to put in the black and tan Woodland Ruffles there. So we just gather up in the middle, and then you fold it, and when you fold it, exaggerate the fold, kind of cross over, because you want them to stick straight out. So, and then just start putting them in your ties, And then give a good couple of twists, because we're not putting anything in really after this as far as I know so far. And then you just kind of bring them out to you. So we're just going to continue all the way around the wreath. Oh, no apologies, Valerie. No apologies. I hope your son is well. Oh, where are we at? Up here. All right. And when you put these in, you know, I can't stress enough, make sure you're pushing it against that frame and pulling those ties tight, because you don't want those ribbons going anywhere. And so, you know, and there's a couple ways you can do ribbons. You can pull them out this way and separate them, or you can kind of do this, kind of a tulip-y look. You know, you can do it either way. So it's completely up to you and what style you're going for. Most of the time, I'd probably say 80% of the time, I pull them straight out and then separate them a little bit. But I'll separate them later. I don't play with them while I have all y'all's attention. Hey, Thea. Oh, getting mom advice. Isn't it nice when they still ask for that? That's awesome. I love it when they do that. Because so often I give it when it's unsolicited. Don't I, girls? All right. Just pulling these out. Okay. I feel like I'm going so slow. I'm not trying to go slow, but I just feel like I'm in slow motion. It's getting so full. It's getting kind of hard to get things in there. So who's going to try to do a mannequin head? Who is feeling inspired and wants to try to do a mannequin head now? I'm thinking about on Friday decorating a mannequin head instead of doing like a wreath or a swag. What would you guys think about, like, not painting it, but doing all the floral stuff and everything afterwards? Because painting it, I'm so slow. Oh boy, I'm so slow. Because you know, Bob Ross and I have had several glasses of wine together while I try to paint. But I am by no means a painter with any real skill. Thanks, Val. And if you're just jumping on, if you wouldn't mind sharing my page and liking my page, I would sure appreciate it. It helps me get out there and gets the group a little bit bigger. And then we can do more things. And as soon as I start getting like a little bit bigger following, as soon as I start getting like up to 100 people and stuff, then I'm going to start doing giveaways. I already have like 4 wreaths in mind that I'm going to do giveaways for. So I'm looking forward to when we get to that point. It'll be so fun. And last year I gave away, I don't know, 3 or 4 wreaths, and it was so fun, and people just loved them, and it made them so happy, and I really like doing that. So it ought to be fun. Can y'all see okay? Marianne, are you going to try a mannequin? Oh, I would love to see everybody's creations of mannequins, because of course, I went to YouTube and Pinterest, you know, like everybody, to try to figure out how to make one. And watch a couple videos, and then, of course, after you watch a couple of videos, we're an expert. We could do brain surgery, right? After we watch a video on how to do it. But I think she turned out okay. I'm really happy. I think she's totally cute. But I'll tell you a secret. So if you notice, the 2 mannequins' heads that I did, the left eye is covered on both of them. Well, it's because I can't do two eyes the same to save my life. So I just incorporated it as part of the style. And you guys just thought it was because it was cute. Oh, Lynn, hello. I got the heads at Hobby Lobby, and this week the heads are 30% off. So I would only get the heads when they're 30% off. Otherwise, they're, I think the female head is $5, and the male head is $7. So the male head is a little bit more expensive than the female head. But yeah, just Hobby Lobby. I looked online, and with the 30% off, I got it just about as cheap as I could get it online. So yeah, really, I'm not a painter, you know, either. Well, I don't know. I can do, I guess you don't know what you can do until you try, I guess, is, a couple of years after my brain injury, I had a traumatic brain injury, and a couple of years afterwards, my husband and I went camping, and I said, I think I want to try and carve something. And so I carved this little bear, and it was kind of cute, and I was like, well, I really want the proper tools to be able to do it correctly. And then I discovered, wow, I can carve. So it was pretty amazing. And the second thing I ever made was my mom. I made her a lamp with a bear coming out of it, you know, because everything's mountainy because we live in Colorado. Oh, hello, my friend. All right, we're getting close to the end here. Well, of putting the ribbons in, I guess. Thank you. Yeah, if you like it, give me some thumbs up or hearts. If you think we're not going in the right directions, you can give me a frowny face even. Hey, how are the Ozarks? Okay, couple left. Then we're going to go about the business of, you know, when you create wreaths, you discover you're an architect, you're all these things that you never really had to think about, but you have to think about balance and where you're going to put things and how you're going to adhere them, and, you know, all these things that you thought, it's just decorating. Well, not exactly. You know, there's some skill involved, right? Some practical implications. Oops. Where am I going? Holy moly. Oh, over here. All right. And then, well, it says I have 2 left there, but... And my ribbons, in case I didn't tell y'all, I cut them at 12 inches. Okay. Oh, here's one. Yeah, bear in the beehive on that. Oh, I guess I didn't realize, Tracy, that you guys had bears in the Ozarks. I guess I was just ignorant to that fact that you do. Well, that's crazy. I imagine they do a lot of fishing there. All right, last one. No frowns? I didn't see all those go up. I saw hearts and stuff, but I didn't see any frowny faces. That's good. Do you know, a couple of weeks back when I was doing a live, I noticed that I had, someone had it like a mad face on there, and I was like, oh my gosh, I offended somebody. So I went back and watched the video and was like, you know, did I say something or do something to offend somebody? You know, I was going to send him an apology or whatever. And they did a mad frowny face, and I can't remember who it was. You might be watching now, but you did a frowny face because my zip tie wasn't working. But I was all going to take it to heart. Okay. Woohoo! What do you think? Let me back up just a little. All right. Looks kind of weird because the center is dark right now. But, oh, they come in for the trout. Oh, yeah. Do you guys have big trout? I would love to go there. Okay. All right. Let's talk about her a little bit. So, let's turn her over. Okay, so the back is never pretty, right? It's never pretty. Let me see if I can just... Okay. So the back is never pretty. And what I did here... You like my Rafa? What I did here was I stuck a wire through the center of her head because I didn't want to rely on like hot glue or anything, because I want my, you know, whoever buys her to know that she's, you know, not going to come apart in the heat of the sun or anything like that. So I put a wire through the center of her head. Obviously I didn't go straight, but that's how we're going to adhere her to the frame itself. Now that might take me a few minutes, so we'll have to, oh, what's her name? Alexis is in, what's the name of the scarecrow? So this is the back of the wreath. I didn't give her a name. Do you want to name her? You name her. Okay, so I'm just going to push all these down a little bit. I'll go back and fix all of them later. But, okay, so it's an oval. So we need to, and I'm going to make this the top probably. Well, actually, you got to think this out a little bit. So you know those spots that we have one on top of another that's the same? Where's a couple of those spots? Okay, like this spot and this spot. Okay, that is the bottom. Okay, we're going to leave that the bottom because I'll put a bow down here and it'll cover it and you won't see it. So I'm going to place her on here. I'm bending, here, I'll show you. I'm going to bend the wire up like this. And this is a pretty good gauge wire. I think it's an 18 gauge wire, so it's thicker. So I'm going to kind of bend those down. And we will flip her back over, and I'm going to shove those wires down in the center of the wreath and try to get them to go out the back. And you just got to wiggle, 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 wiggle. Okay. And I'm going to turn her sideways here so we can see if she's centered where we want her. Actually, I'm kind of liking her off center just a little. So I think we're going to go with right there. So with this, since that wire is so big, usually I do not flip it back over, but with this, I am going to have to flip it over and try to find those. Here's one. Okay, and here's the other of the wires that I put under there. So this one, Oh boy. I'm going to try and wrap that wire around this bar. And boy, 18 gauge wire does not sound like it would be that hard, but it is. It's pretty stiff wire. Bride of Frankenstein. Hey, that's pretty cool. The Bride of Frankenstein. I kind of like that. Okay, this one I'm going to, and I am pulling to try to get it. And I'm just trying to grab. Okay, so I've got that crisscrossed, and you just wrap it around any which way you can until you achieve success. And I'm just tightening this one. Okay. She's not going anywhere. I can tell you that right now. She is not going anywhere. Look at this. She's in there good. Yay, I made a good choice on that wire. All right. So, let's see. Of the Jack and the Skeleton King girlfriend off of Nightmare Before Christmas. Nice, nice. So with her, because I want to try to keep costs down, we're not going to add a lot of embellishments, but we are going to add at least one bow, maybe two. So I'm thinking one bow right down here. Even though I painted the bottom of her and stuff, I don't want anybody to see that. So I think putting a big bow right here would be a great idea. And then we might do a small bow that just kind of goes behind the Rapha right back here. But I'm not even sure we need to do that. So let's make a bow. What do you think? Let me know what you guys think. Do I get hearts, or do I get mad faces or sad faces? What are you thinking? Yay or nay? Awesome. Yay. Okay. All right, so I'm going to lay her down. Actually, I'm going to put her up on the behind me here, and we're going to make the bow. Oh man, this is a fluffy girl. All right. So, let's get out our easy bow maker. Yay! Oh, great. Thanks, you guys. Thank you. Oh, somebody didn't like it. Somebody had a sad face. You don't like it. Oh, man. It's a bummer when someone doesn't like it. But it's okay. Everybody's entitled to their own taste and stuff, right? Hopefully I can do another one that you like. Alright, so I have this 4-inch. So if you notice, I don't know if you remember, but on her face is a spider, and on her neck is a spider, and it glitters ever so much. So it, I wanted to use a little bit of glitter ribbon. Isn't that pretty? So let me just kind of, I think I'm going to do, I always do 12-inch tails, and then if I don't like it, I cut it down. So I might as well stick to it. So 8 plus 4 is 12. So I'm just going to start off with 12-inch tails. And we'll see. We might end up cutting them pretty good, but we'll see. All right. So I really like this ribbon. This ribbon I got at the At Home store last Christmas. during their clearance sale, of course. I like the at-home store. It's just that their stuff is pretty pricey sometimes, unless you get it on clearance. Which, when they have clearance, they have good clearance. Okay, so we're pushing that through, and I think we will do like 5.5-inch loops. So you just put that in until you reach the size loop that you want, and then you twist in the middle. Oh, was her name Sally? Shall we call her Sally? All right, her name is Sally the Scarecrow. Sally the Scarecrow. All right, about the same on both sides. We're going to do 4 on the bottom. 4-inch ribbon is a little more difficult to kind of manhandle at first, but it'll all work out in the end here. Okay. Has anybody asked a question that I haven't answered? I've been trying to look at the screen to try to make sure I do, but all right. Ooh, this ribbon is pretty wild right now. All right. Let's pull this out. Cut the tails. Okay, so that's the 4-inch. Then I wanted to add a pumpkin ribbon, and this ribbon I got at, wait for it, oh great, oh, Irving, Texas. You know what, I probably got this one at Joann's. Probably got it at Joann's. So we're just going to put this through, and you're going to start this next one on the opposite side that you left off on. So we left off on this side, so we're going to run our tail over here, and we're going to give a twist in the middle, and this one we'll do 3. And this one I usually make the same size or just a hair smaller than the base one that I put down. So it'll be just a hair smaller than the base one that I put down. And then we'll do 3. You always twist in the middle. Always twist in the middle. Okay. And when you have an odd number, both your tails are going to be on the same side. Okay. All right, I think we might do, this 1.5-inch now. Oh, it is definitely, it's styrofoam. The face is made of styrofoam, and you just get it at like Hobby Lobby. And it's $4.99 at Hobby Lobby, but every other week they have it 30% off. And the trick with it is you gotta paint it with like Elmer's glue or Mod Podge before you paint it, because otherwise it's like really, really porous. Okay. Actually, I think I'm going to do 2 of the spider before I do that one. So, I left off on this side, so we'll go to this side. Put our tail in. And then we'll twist, and we'll just do 2 of this one. And this is a 2.5-inch ribbon. This one I got at Joann's last fall after Halloween, and everything was clearanced out. Very important on the styrofoam heads. Don't think that you can spray paint them. I watched some YouTube videos, and spray paint and styrofoam do not go together. They don't like each other. All right. Okay. So we've got a pile going pretty good here. And this one we did not have in the mix, but I really like it. It's really pretty. Has a little bit of sheen to it, a little bit of glitter. Okay, we're going to do 4 of these. So usually when I make my bow, I don't know what the bows are called. I know that like there's names for bows. I don't know what they're called, what it's called, but I usually do like 4 on the bottom, then 3, then 2, and then I'll usually start my 1.5 inch ribbon, and then I will go 4, 3, 2, and leave it at 3 or 2 or 1. It's kind of like the pattern that I go for. I don't know what that pattern or style is called. Oh yeah, it started dissolving it right away. Made a slimy mess of the styrofoam. You have to have a specific kind of spray paint, I guess, or not hold the spray paint very close to the styrofoam. But yeah, styrofoam does not like spray paint. Because I was just going to spray it this morning with like this lacquer stuff that I have, this crayon sealer, to make sure it was sealed real well. And I thought, I should probably make sure that I can do that. So, yeah, watched those videos, and I was like, I'm so glad I watched that, because I would have been devastated if she would have been destroyed this morning. Alright, we're going to do 3 of these. Come on. And we're just going a little shorter each time, kind of stair-stepping it a little bit. You go shorter with each ribbon, but not with each loop, if that makes sense. All right, one more. So we've got 3. Okay, y'all, we're almost done with this bow. Okay, I'm just going to get these out of the way a little bit so when we bring up that, oops. And then I have just a little bit left of this. Like I said, I love this. I just love this ribbon. It goes with so many things. And it's not wired, which is crazy. So this is a double-sided. You don't have to twist it in the middle, but because I'm always trying to remember to twist my bows in the middle, I just automatically just twist it anyway. Okay. And we're just going to do 2. There we go. Okay. Now is the fun part, right? No, this is the part I hate about making bows. See if I can get my chair just right. I'll probably stand up anyway. So, okay, separate your tails. Expose the pole in the middle. So there's this pole in the middle. And you're going to take your wire, lift up all your bows so that there's a gap on the bottom. Run this under here and out the back side, up and over, as close to the center as you can get it. Okay? Now I'm going to stand up here, close to the center as you can get it, and then you're going to pull down on it a little bit to tighten it, okay? And, come on. Yeah. What you don't want to happen is you do not want it to slide off of each other. So you want to hold it pretty taut. Move that wire back over to the middle. There we go. And you want to, oh, see, you don't want it to slide. Ugh. This is like the worst part, man. So, and you're going to twist. It slid a little bit. Dang gummit. Twist the bow, twist the bow, twist the bow. And you're using it as a cork kind of, or screwdriver thing to drive into the bow. Oh, what a mess it fell. Alright. We can still make it work. It'll just take a little extra fluffing and manhandling on my side. But even for somebody who does as many bows as I do, it happens. It happens. So this is my fluff box. It has a hook in the middle, so I just put the bow in the middle there. Wrap it around this end, the wire, that is. And then I can manipulate the bow, which this one I'm going to have to manipulate a lot. Okay. And, you know, you did your bow pretty tight, so you can manhandle this pretty well. Oops. Oh, let's come down here. What are you doing? Okay. Let's fluff out the bottom. Are y'all still with me? Am I boring you yet? Sorry, this is taking such a long time. Usually I try to have my bows done ahead of time, but I just ran out of time today. And if it wants to twist on you, just go to the root and straighten out the root, and then it won't twist on you. Oh, the fluff box. Let's see. Valerie, are you on here still? There's someone on Etsy, I think, that sells them, but I bought mine at Pro Bow the Hand, just on the internet. It was $15, but then it was $15 to ship as well, so it's like $30. You can make one, I'm sure, for a lot cheaper than that, but it's actually very well made. It's pretty heavy. Oops. Obviously. It's pretty heavy. And it's just a good investment, because I was like doing bows on chairs or the table end or whatever, and I just couldn't get them. It was hard to get them, you know, fluffed out and stuff. So Pro Bow the Hand is where I bought it, but I think there's somebody maybe in our group. It is a big bow. It is a big bow. I tend to do big bows. I usually do 5 to 7 different ribbons in my bows. So they are pretty big most of the time. And they take a lot of time to fluff out, but I don't take all the time that's needed when I'm with you guys, because I don't want to bore you to death, you know. Yeah, I watched Christelle go live, and I had to watch her for 25 minutes while she attempted to fluff a bow. Because I spend quite a bit of time later making sure that every layer is perfect before you take the picture and stuff, and then showing your customer and everything how to fluff out everything, so when, let's see. Oh, and this one was a little big, so I'm just pulling the tail to make it a little shorter so it matches the other one. There we go. That's better. Okay. It still needs a lot more fluffing out to do, but there's our bow. Okay, I'm going to take it off the fluff box here. Yeah, Susan, they're a great investment. I do believe that. Okay. Oh my gosh. I don't know if you guys can see. So, you know what this means? Can you see what's all over my hand? You know what that means? Who knows what that means? Who's a wreath maker knows what that means? It means glitter season has started. Right? You got glitter season. Alright, let me move my chair. So I'm going to take her down again. Whoop, here's our lady. And grab the bow. And I think, I'm not sure I'm going to do 2 bows. I am for sure going to do this one. And I want the bow right kind of under her like this. So what you do is you take the wire and shove it through all the way to the back. Kind of like we did with her, you know. We shove the wires all the way behind to the frame of the wreath. And then I'm just going to find 2 points. Okay. Hold on. I got to make sure I like it there. Yeah, I think I will. I'll just have to do some fluffing. So you find 2 separate points on the back. And hold on, let me find the wires again and I'll turn it over and show you. Where'd they go? Okay, come on. Oh, thanks, Joe. Oh yeah, the glitter. And this morning, I ran into, so I'm going to turn it over and show you. I ran into Hobby Lobby to buy some more of those heads, and I bought some boas. Boas are like, you know, like, you know what a boa is, right? It's like a scarf, only it's made of feathers. And so there were feathers all over the register, and I said, oh, it's boa season. And then I had some glitter stuff on there, and I said, oh, I'm so sorry. It's glitter season too. And she said, yep, so it begins. All right, so I have fastened it at 2 different points. Okay, I am going to put her on the wall behind me, and then I'll move the camera. Hold on. Oh, sorry guys, I just need to pull it. Okay, hold on, let me move it up here. Sorry, I have to get so close to the camera, and I don't have makeup on, so I look awful. Okay, let me zoom in on her. Okay, so I pushed the back of her in a little bit more, and so I'm just going to fluff this out, And actually, I might put another roll. I don't have one made right now, but I'll put another roll underneath this bottom part because see how it's angled down too much? I want it to come up a little bit more. So I'm going to have to build behind it so it actually comes out a little bit more. Otherwise it's going to droop down like that, and I don't want it to droop down like that. So I'll put, let me see. Hold on and I'll just show you real quick. So if I just take something like this and twist it. So sometimes you just don't know what you need behind your structure until you get it up. So we'll put something like this probably behind it right there to build that out just a little bit more and shove it into the structure. See what I mean? See how that just made that whole bottom just pop right out so it's no longer leaning down like it was. And then to help with that illusion, these top ones, we won't puff out as much. And I'm going to shorten these pumpkin ones. Hold on. And how you shorten them is you just pull the tails and it shrinks them down a little bit. See how that one's shrinking down a little? Okay. So, but I'll fuss with that, and I'll fuss with that, and I'll fuss with that. And then I'll take pictures of the finished product. I really wanted to be able to see the spider on her there though. So I may bring the bow down a little bit further. But what do you think? I may just make like a quick bow to go up behind her. I'm just going to do something real quick just to see if I want something behind her head up there or not. So hold on just a second. Hold on, ladies. So I'm just kind of making a bow like this real quick, and it's just like a test thing that I do sometimes to see if I want something else back there. Because I have to see it. I actually have to see it put together before I actually know if I like it or not. So I may just put like a simple bow kind of back here. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. But it's going to be a simple bow with probably just that. Okay, what do you think? I think she's done. Do you like her? Yay? No? But lots of Rapha in there to make her kind of wispy and fun. There's some pumpkins hanging down here. I may add a couple pumpkins, we'll see. I just don't want her to get too expensive. So we may just leave her like that. But thank you. You like it. Yay, I see hearts. I see lots of hearts and thumbs up. Nice. Cool. Let me come back down here a little bit. you can't see her very well. Let me pop that back up there. She was a lot of work. We got to be able to see her, man. Right? Who cares if you can see me? As long as you can see her. I'm glad you love it. Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I think she's probably done. What I'm going to do next, and I will try to get a picture of her up on my Facebook page, and then I'll tally her up and see how much she runs, and I'll put her for sale on my Facebook page for the first week, and then after that she'll be on my Etsy page. So if any of you love her like, you know, so much you got to have her, you'll have that opportunity. I think on Friday we will maybe do this one. You like her? I'm thinking she's going to be a witch. So on Friday, we can do her. I can make her and do her and put her in a wreath on Friday, or I can decorate her on Friday. Which would you guys rather see? Decorate her or put her in a wreath? So you guys decide. We'll do either one. I think she's going to be a witch. So we'll do that on Friday. So I want to say thank you so much for coming out tonight. And I hope you all enjoyed yourself. I sure did enjoy having you all. I'm sorry, I'm a mess today. But anyway, so I hope to see you on Friday. If you haven't, please share. And like my page, and I'll see you guys on Friday, 5 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, and we'll do something fun again, and you can have a glass of wine or beer or water or soda and watch, and I should have a mediator by then, I hope. So thanks, you guys. You guys take care, be safe out there, and I'll see you next time.